you show up again and you score some goals,
Yeah.
score some baskets. And is it score baskets? Is
baskets.
Is that a thing?
We'll go with it. Well, I'll give you that one.
Score baskets.
Score baskets.
That's what I'd
Kick
call it.
goals and score baskets.
Hey guys, welcome to Keep Kicking with yours truly, Kai. I'm joined by a very special guest, Monroe Capri Bryant, and she's an incredible basketball player, but she also attends Chapman University. Content creator, actress, model, she does it all. So you were a high school basketball player, but
Yes.
you decided to focus on school and social media. Tell me a little bit about that, a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I used to play AAU in high school basketball. I've been playing since the first grade. And then COVID hit, and my social media side kind of blew up. And I've also been doing like acting and modeling since the third grade. So as a kid, I thought like I could totally rock out and do all three, and it'd be totally fine. Found out like some D1 rules that I couldn't really do all three and like have time. So as my social media started to grow, I realized that I could kind of bring in basketball to my social media and also find like a acting aspect on social media and a modeling aspect on social media with Instagram. And I got to tie in like all three things that I love, and it's been really cool.
So she does it all is what she's saying. No, but let's backtrack. I mean, you talked about not being able to do all three because of the D1 rules at the time,
Yeah.
right? So when you were coming into college,
Yes.
let's think that would have been before the NIL rules changed.
Yes.
So you couldn't monetize your name, image, and likeness.
Yeah.
That's been huge.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So was that probably the biggest factor that played into you not playing college basketball?
I think it was definitely probably one of the biggest things. Also just like not having the time to probably do everything, because going D1 is, as you know, probably a full-time job. And it just takes up like a lot of your time, and you have to have like really good time management with it. And yeah, so that rule was definitely like a huge thing for me though.
Yeah, 100%. So basketball, obviously you put that to the side. You're in school. What are you studying in school right now?
I'm studying communications.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
fun.
so what do you want to do with communications? Because I know you can do anything with
Yeah.
that degree, really.
I kind of want to be like a little ESPN girl.
And you would be so good. Wait, this is perfect. This is perfect. Do a little intro for the people. Let's see. How would you start?
I would just hit them with, "Hey guys, it's Monroe Capri. Welcome back to ESPN." we just roll from there.
ESPN, give her a job right now.
I'm waiting.
Incredible. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's bring it back to Little Monroe. So you said you started playing basketball in first grade. Interesting.
Yeah.
So I started playing soccer when I was like 2 years old. I started walking, and my dad said, "Go play in the boys' league." Like I was like this little girl with pigtails, like running on the field.
That's
so
adorable.
first grade, did you do any sports like before that, along with basketball, or it was just basketball's life?
I tried it. We hit gymnastics a little bit.
I could see that.
Found out I wasn't flexible. I was so behind in everything I did. Like ballet was not it.
I
Just
did
like
ballet.
tried dancing. It's sad. It didn't work out. And then I did basketball. I was forced to do basketball because of my dad.
Dad. It's
yeah.
always,
so it's the
always
dads.
the dads.
It's the dads.
They're just like, "We want a son. Go play sports."
They're like, "Dang, how are we gonna go D1 now?"
Do you have siblings?
I don't. I'm an only child. Yeah.
So your dad was like,
yeah, he was
"Listen,
like,
let's grind
you gotta
it
do
out.
something.
Let's grind it out." Let's get into a little bit of your story in basketball. What do you think was your highest moment in the sport, and what do you think was the lowest? Let's hear a little story.
Okay, so high school basketball comes with like a lot of drama. I'm sure a lot of high school sports come with a lot of drama, and there's a lot of politics in high school basketball. And being like kind of starting up on social media, a lot of people weren't too supportive of that. I'm from a very small town in Virginia, so no one was really doing that, and I feel like a lot of people kind of hated on me for it. And then it ended up showing up on the court that was like visibly an issue. So the coach started to like not really play me, and like I like lost my starting spot, and it was just for no reason. Like it was just kind of random. So there's this one game we're going against like kind of our rival, and a lot of people on the rival team did not like me. very outgoing about it.
That's
talked
like
about
a
it a lot.
UCLA USC type
Yeah,
thing,
it was
that rivalry.
deep.
Yeah.
Those games are amazing, by the way. I always go to the USC versus UCLA games because they're so intense. But yeah, so they were very vocal about like how they did not like me, and I never thought like it would actually happen on the court. Like I never thought they'd say something to me. There was so many moments where they were just like, oh, like TikToker, or oh, like whatever. And this girl, there's like times in basketball where like there's like a dead ball, you know, you stop playing, so no one's moving. There's no, it's not live, so you shouldn't be playing defense.
You need to chill.
Right.
You need to
we
stop.
just take a second, take a breather. We're out of breath. I'm tired.
Yeah.
And she randomly pushed me. And I was like, oh, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. But I'm not physical.
What'd you do?
I'm not a physical person. I'm not going to push back. So I just came back down the court, you know me, coming down. And I just had to like cross her up and score on her. Because that's not going to happen.
That's a high. That's a high.
We
That's
lost
like
the
take
game,
that.
which was a low.
Oh.
But I did really good. And none of them thought like that I would be a problem, and they thought like it'd be easy to guard me or whatever, and I had so much adrenaline that game that I was just going off, and the coach was so heated, and we actually have it on tape, like her yelling at them to guard me, and they kept switching people on me, and like they just couldn't guard me.
Do you think they didn't take you seriously because of your content creator status?
100%. And also like I feel like appearance-wise, when I walk on the court, I'm not the scariest to look at. They're not like, oh, like there's a 6-foot player. It's like she's
true.
5'6". She's smiling while she's shooting. Another thing I do, smile while I'm like, yeah.
Oh my god. I love that. I love that.
So I'm not very intimidating. So they definitely didn't think I was gonna come out hot. But yeah, I think that was a high for sure.
Dang. That is absolutely wild. No, that's a huge thing in soccer too. This past season, like girls would always on the bench be like TikToker, like oh like coffee, like you know joke about like things I'm saying, and I'm like why though, like there ain't no need to be saying this stuff. There was one game, it got really messy because they started not only talking about me, but it was like talking about who I was in a relationship with, talking like some
on the field.
On the field, but girls on the bench too, because I'm a winger. So I'm passing by girls on the bench,
and
like
you can hear it
nonstop, and they're just like, "Oh, your girlfriend," and it's like, whoa, now, like
that's
now
a little
it's like
much.
now it's personal,
right?
But you can either use that to fire you up. Or in a lot of cases, it breaks people down and they shut down in a game. And I've seen it, like, not content creators, you know, being trash, but like just in general, when girls trash talk other girls on the field, like you can tell when like people's demeanors change, and it's like they're just like
first
defeated.
Starting social media and playing basketball, that was like the first like half of that season was the worst I've ever played in my life.
Dang.
It was horrible because every game I went, I didn't realize like how many people knew about it. I didn't realize how like serious it was and how many people were aware that I was on TikTok. And everywhere I went, just like video cameras. And when I have a bad game, it somehow goes viral. And it's like, oh, like she says she can play, but she had 0 points.
Like airball. Like, ooh.
Yeah, and I'm like
1 out of 20.
Yeah,
right?
it was 1 airball. So then I just had a fear every game, like I'm gonna mess up, I'm gonna miss, I'm gonna mess up, I'm gonna miss, and then that's all I kept doing. So really like having to work through that aspect, like sports wise mentally, is super hard, and like you have to be super strong to do that. But it's worth it. So.
Positive self-talk for sure, and just like I feel the eyes on me in games now because it's like people do come just because they know me from TikTok, and I'm like, I don't want to let these people down. I don't want to like mess up in front of them, but at the end of the day, like you got to zone in and you got to forget about the people in the stands because like they're not playing. Like worst comes to worst, you got a terrible highlight reel from like, but it's like not the end of the world. Like you show up again and you score some goals, score some baskets. Is it score baskets? Is that a thing?
That was we'll go with it. Well, I'll give you that one.
Score baskets.
Score baskets.
That's what I'd call it.
Kick goals and score baskets.
Obviously, I'm in college. Like I feel old. I'm like 19, 20. You know, you learn how to cope with things. You've gone through things. But you're in high school. When I was in high school, like I took stuff so personally, so to the heart. So how was it being so young, having to hear all this, having to see yourself in maybe the not highlight
Yeah.
reels. How'd you get through it, and how'd you manage that?
I feel like for every negative moment, there's a positive moment that would like counteract it. And even though I was being negatively recorded at the games, right after the games, people would ask to take pictures with me. And it's like, okay, well, that's a cool moment. Like, that's something that I would never think would happen. Like, people want a picture with Y. So, like, that was super cool. And I was just, like, enjoying, like, those little moments and having my parents, like, be there to talk to and be like, hey, like, it's okay if you have, like, that negative reel, or, like, having, like, a few, like, hometown friends, like, really shifted that for me and, like, helped me keep going. So I feel like having that support versus like you like just kind of like, you know, having to deal with it without like your parents being present and stuff like that was something that helped. So
I really like that mindset though. It's like for every negative there's a positive, and there's usually so many more positives.
Exactly.
I love it. That's such a great way to think.
Yeah.
Do you have any like athletic or athlete role models that you kind of grew up watching?
Yeah, definitely Skylar Diggins.
Okay.
Because she was, obviously, she's in the WNBA, and she also kind of did, like, a little modeling. Like, she had a little modeling aspect to her. And I was like, I like this, because this is, like, what I want to do and, like, who I want to be. And I just, like, always looked up to her. So, yeah, definitely her. And then on the guy's side, like, John Wall, point guard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang.
They say I shoot like Steph Curry. I don't know, but, you know.
Hype her up.
No,
Hype her up.
I'm kidding.
Okay, so when I saw your name, I obviously saw Bryant, and I thought Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
So you're not related at all?
No, unfortunately.
Do you get that a lot from people, though?
I do.
Okay, good.
I do.
I thought I was tripping a little bit. Oh, my gosh.
I definitely will take the compliment. Yeah.
Alrighty,
For
so
sure.
you said you played AAU.
Mm-hmm.
See, now I know nothing about basketball at all. This is tragic. What is AAU, and how does that differ from high school basketball, and your path if you wanted to go the college route, the pro route? Like, how does that look for basketball players?
So kind of like how we were talking before with your travel soccer. I'm learning soccer too now. But AAU is basically like an off season. So like while you play high school basketball, at the end of the season, you'll transfer into AAU, and you'll have like maybe an EYBL team, maybe not an EYBL team.
So many letters.
There's a lot of abbreviations going on. And you go to tournaments like across like the country, like different places, and college scouts will just come and like recruit you and see how you play, and it's just a really big opportunity to be seen college wise.
Dang, that's so cool. Okay, so you were talking about college recruits. Now you go to Chapman University for school. Were you recruited there for basketball, or were you recruited to other schools for basketball? How did that work?
So I had a lot of academic scholarships, which is actually what I'm at Chapman
smart.
for.
Nice.
So I kind of got the best of both worlds with being like the D3s would give you the academic scholarships, and then the D2, D1s would give me the basketball scholarships. So I got probably around like 10 basketball offers, which was cool, just spread out through D3 to D1. But yeah, so I had a lot of opportunities and stuff. I just decided not to go.
No kidding.
But yeah.
Dang.
was
Okay,
awesome.
so yeah, you talked about not obviously going to college for basketball. Let's like backtrack, get into that a little more. What made you make this decision from like, and what did your parents think? Let's definitely go with that, because obviously like I know my parents were super invested in my sports, were super invested in like obviously getting an athletic scholarship, because UCLA, like athletic academic scholarships, that's hard to come by.
Yeah.
So what pivoted that decision?
I think that my parents were pretty supportive. And I think that they just really, because they knew how much I loved all three. And I think that the social media, like being there and them seeing that like I can still do what I love doing, but just in a different way, was just like a huge thing for them. They saw that I was like happy doing it. And I think that was just, having their support was really easy to kind of make my decision and what I really wanted to do at the end of the day. So it was just a big backbone to have them.
Was it hard to give up basketball? Like, do you feel like you even gave it up though, because you do it for content all the time? So how do you feel?
I definitely feel like it was super hard to give it up. Like I sometimes wish I was like playing in like college right now, but I feel like how I can influence kids in the same way, like young like girls, just to be themselves. And I feel like there's just such a disconnect and stereotype, kind of, that's the word. There's such a stereotype with girls and sports, and basketball specifically for me is just like you have to be masculine, you have to be like, you know, aggressive, like bulky, you can't be feminine.
That jock type vibe.
Yeah.
I mean, look at me. That is me.
Yeah.
That's how I go about it.
And
but
like, I like want to inspire girls to like be themselves. Like if you want to go like and be kind of more masculine, that's awesome. Be you. And if you want to be femme, you can do that too. So I like representing that, like, you can wear a dress and play basketball at the same time. Like you can do whatever you want. So being able to inspire in that way is awesome.
I love it. All right, so we're gonna shift kind of into your rise to stardom. Let's say it like that. But now your social media obviously blew up, and you do modeling and acting, correct? So like, how did that impact your mental health, kind of blowing up so big and taking that step into the more content creation side?
I feel like it definitely took a toll on it in a different way. I feel like with sports, it's like the pressure of, you know, trying to be the best, trying to get better, being drained all the time. With social media, it's more having to deal with cyberbullying and like hate comments, and how are you gonna work at that aspect. So I think that was the biggest like switch for me.
And you're talking about cyberbullying. Is there any specific moment that you can remember that just like you were like, frick, that one hurt?
Yeah.
Like, I'm taking this a little more personally than I should.
Yeah, I think that there's a certain level of how open you are on social media and how vulnerable you are, and I think that was probably the hardest thing, was me learning, like, don't be too vulnerable and don't be too open to an extent that, like, I'm letting people say things that are going to personally, like, take me down.
You got to be strategic. Like, I've seen both sides of it. I think at the beginning of my social media journey, let's say, I was super transparent, super open, and I feel like I still am, but I feel like I'm more strategic with what I put out there. And it's like, you know me, but it's like, I know myself more than anybody else does. And that's what you have to remember, and it's hard to lose track of that when you have so many people just trying to break you down all the time. So no, crazy on that front. But we also talked about, I messaged you quickly. I was like, yo, like, what are we going to talk about? Like, let me hear a bit about yourself. But you mentioned struggling with like anxiety, depression, panic attacks. When did that start? Has that been a huge thing in your life? And is that not necessarily under control, but like, have you learned how to cope and manage with these things?
Yeah, I feel like starting social media, the depression started to like kind of creep in more. But I feel like persevering through it was the best thing for me, because I really learned that like it gets better, like no matter like what. And that's such a typical statement. And when you're going through it, it's like, nah, it's not gonna get better. Like, stop saying that to me.
Like, you're just like, that's so cliche.
Yeah.
It's like, you then take a step back when you're looking like future self. You're like, oh, it really does. It gets better. You just got to be patient.
Yeah,
and
it's like worth it. And I think that moving to LA and like leaving my hometown was something that caused me a lot of anxiety and the panic attacks and stuff like that. And like just like having like bad influences in my life probably, and finding like just a way to be grounded. So I did stop playing basketball when I first moved to LA, and I think that took a huge hit to like my mental health and my anxiety, and just being able to like regather myself, start like really doing what I love again, go to the gym every day, play basketball with people every day, and it has just helped so much.
Because basketball, like soccer for me, that's like where you go to escape from everything. Always. Like,
100%.
like if anything's going wrong, it's like, let me go to the field. Let me like kick a ball. So that's super cool that you cope with that. But you talked about bad influences in your life. Do you want to like go deeper into that? Kind of like,
I feel like there's a lot of people, like anywhere that you go, that can try to like lean you to do things you don't want to do, or just like take you down a path that like, you know, you shouldn't be going, but like it's looked at as okay, like it's looked at as good, and you're like, hey, like, though, this is what everyone's doing that's my age, like this is cool, like whatever, I'm just gonna do it anyways, like this should be fun. And then you start to like make yourself think like that's what's fun, like that's what fun is. But like fun for me isn't like going out and like partying and like doing all these things. It's like playing basketball, being at home, being with people I love, being with people that actually care about your well-being, not with people who are just like faking it.
100%. No, that's a huge thing for me. Like, obviously, college scene, it's like party city at UCLA. Come on, like, everybody does want to have fun, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with partying. It's just recognizing what your scene is and where you feel safe. Like, I'm not a partier. I do not go out to party. I hate it. Like, that gives me anxiety. That gives me, like, panic. Like, whoa, like, I don't want to be out surrounded by a bunch of people. So it's, like, definitely finding where you feel safe. And for me, again, like, soccer field, studying, like, being a nerd. Like, come on. Like, I love that type of stuff. So in terms of, like, let's do, like, a quick, like, scale of 1 to 10, mental health-wise. Like, where do you think your mental health is right now?
Right now, I think it's probably at, like, a 9
Dang!
and a half. We've, like, I really worked on it. Like, I really drilled my mental health, and I feel like I've gotten to a point where I'm, like, pretty happy.
That's, dude, I'm happy for you, Frank. That's really good. A 9 out of 10, dang.
Yeah.
And so where do you think, when were you at your lowest in terms of mental health, and what was the main core of it, do you think? Was it social media? Was it people in your life? Was it cyberbullying?
I think it was probably 1 was the lowest. Just really got down there. Dang. We're really deep.
We are down on the ground.
Like, it was like, we need help. This is desperate times.
What exactly was happening then to get you to that place?
So I feel like it was just a mix of kind of like not having basketball and being with new people. I was also young at the time. I was 17, and I wasn't with my parents. I was in a whole new environment, and it was just a lot. Like, it was like a shock, and I just went into shock mentally, and cyberbullying and everything. Everything just hit at once, and I was like, wow, like, this is a lot.
What did people come at you for? Because I'm, like, meeting you, and I'm like, how the heck could anyone be a hater? Like, oh gosh, like, and it's so, people take so much energy and effort and time out of their day to hate, and I'm like, you're just a ray of sunshine. Like,
that's how I feel about you. I'm like, why would people hate on me?
No, but like, what were people saying? What hit you the hardest, and what was the hardest to, like, bounce back from?
Like, kind of like what we're talking about with, like, the vulnerability, I was, like, super open with my personality, and at the time, there was, like, I feel like there's, like, trends of, like, negative comments on TikTok, and I feel like that's,
comes
like,
in waves.
It does.
Yeah.
So pick me was, like, the go-to word.
Oh, no.
And that was, like, me. I feel like I was super, just, like, open, and with my personality, like, I'm kind of a, like, mess, like, thoughts-wise. Like, I'm all over the place. So I was just, like, talking to the camera, like, like, oh, my curly hair, I kind of, like, stretched a curl, like, and they're like, you're doing too much, like, pick me, like, all this stuff. And that went on for a very long time.
And I feel like those, like, people are, you know, people can say, oh, you're ugly. And I'm like, you know what? I'm, like, a freaking 10 out of 10. Like, you can bounce yourself back from that. But when people are, like, when you're being your true, authentic self, and somebody comes at you and is like, pick me, like, I'm just trying to be myself out here. Like, what? Like, and a lot of the times people say, oh, she's a pick me, because you're putting so much energy out there, and it's like they just don't know how to reciprocate it. So again, like, that's, like, such a great way to just get your head out of that, like, space. But yeah, let's go into, like, basketball. I know soccer has taught me how to cope with so many other crazy situations in my life, and it has taught me so many life lessons. What do you think is your biggest lesson or takeaway from basketball that's translated into other aspects in your life that have helped you grow?
So I feel like for those who don't know basketball positions, I was a point guard, so it's kind of like you lead the team and, like, you set up the plays and stuff like that. So kind of having to make, like, buzzer beater decisions, be the one to call the shots on the court and be, like, the coach on the floor has translated a lot into my life with my social media and everything like that, because I have to make, like, the buzzer beater decisions and be like, hey, like, let's go through this, let's try this, like, let's see if this works. And I feel like that's probably the biggest thing. Besides, like, time management, like, working with a team.
Yeah. But I can see point guard definitely, like, leadership.
Yeah.
Like, do you find yourself being a leader in, like, a lot of other aspects in your life and around around a lot of people. Yeah.
100%.
No, that's super cool. And then you mentioned acting. I think I saw one of your clips. Tell me more about acting, because I'm very like, I am that jock athlete stereotype. I know nothing about modeling. I've gotten into it. I've gotten into the modeling scene, but like acting is so cool. Tell me a bit about it.
Yeah, acting's really fun. I think it's like a super genuine place where you can kind of like bring emotions out of people and kind of distract people. When you're like watching TV, if you're like watching like a movie or whatever, you're going to be taken out of your reality, your struggles, your problems for like 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours.
It's another escape.
Yeah, and it's escape, and it's so awesome to like make people feel emotions, help connect with people, help like maybe make people laugh, and just do that type of stuff through just acting and like a simple like script or whatever. So I feel like that's something I really love about it, and it's just super fun to do.
Do you think that that's also translated to your ability to like be very cautious of how you put yourself out there to the internet? Like, do you think there is a sense of like acting or like kind of a mask you put on, or do you think like you're still very like, I feel like you're very authentic with your content, but do you think that's helped you like figure out what I should put out there and how I can kind of cover up, kind of keep things to myself?
I think so, yeah. I feel like when I first started like you, I was very vulnerable and just like myself super open.
Yeah.
And I've just pulled back so much, and like this is my personal life and this is my social media life. My social media life is my real life, but there's just so much that I'm not going to show because I'm not there yet.
You gotta protect yourself. That is the biggest thing I've learned, even just being out in LA. Like, you really gotta find who you trust and keep to yourself until you're ready to be vulnerable with the close people in your life. That's
100%.
That's a huge takeaway I've gotten. Let's continue with kind of the mental health, self-care vibes. Do you have any routines or like tips and tricks to like just make yourself happy? Like, if you thought of like the perfect day or the perfect routine, what would that be to you?
Okay, this is gonna sound really weird. You might be shook, astonished, taken aback, but
I cannot wait.
My thing is showers. Showers are my groove.
Oh my gosh, wait, let's pause. What's your love language?
My love language is touch.
Physical touch. That's a thing. I've read about it. It's like if you aren't in a relationship or you're trying to get over a breakup and you need that physical touch aspect, it's showers.
Showers.
That's a me thing too.
Showers.
Yes.
10
showers.
So showers, I have like, do you know like the Galaxy like starlights?
Yes.
That's okay. Put it in your shower. Take it out of your bedroom. Put it in your shower.
Catch
lights
me doing
off.
that tonight.
It's
My
amazing.
gosh.
Yeah, so you turn lights off, put your Galaxy starlights on, and then listen to whatever music you want, right? You shower. When you get out the shower, there's steam on your mirror, okay? This is the weird part.
Oh my
Every day I would write, like, I love you or, like, love yourself or something, and I'd make a heart. And I'd look at myself in the heart and I'd be like, believe it. Like, you love yourself. You're amazing. You're beautiful. You're perfect. And like that, like, it sounds so silly, but it works so much.
But it's something you can literally do every day. That is so smart. See, I've had people do, like, super close people in my life do Post-it notes. And it's like, that's also another thing. You just put them on your mirror. I love that. But that's so cute. And, like, so effective. Because it's really like, you see that message every day. And
like, and I'm like, look at yourself in the heart. It's like a vibe.
Yeah. Wait, I'm gonna do this. I'm really gonna do this. Oh my gosh, amazing. Wow, I gotta hop on
Definitely
these little
try
tricks.
it out. Like, I recommend this so much.
Okay. And then, so how long have you been doing this?
It's been maybe like 5 months, 6 months.
Dang.
Stay consistent.
Have you like seen a huge change?
Yeah. Like, I mean, obviously my mental health went from a 1 to a 9. And
hey, the numbers don't lie.
The numbers do not lie. I'm not like saying it's all because of the showers, but like, say like, 40% of it was definitely the shower.
Oh my gosh, that's absolutely crazy. Touching on the little self-care tips and tricks. Obviously I don't live with my mom anymore. I'm from Canada and now I'm in the US. We always used to do our little nighttime we call them skincare routines, obviously, but we would get so excited. And so my mom got me into skincare because being the athlete I am, I use that as an excuse to like, oh, I'm an athlete, whatever, like throw on like sunscreen and that's it. But no, she got me into a little skincare routine and I do that every single night. when I'm not like around with her anymore. So it's like that stuff just makes me feel so at home and so like calm within myself. And it's funny, my friend took like a little Snapchat photo and she drew my mom like beside me as a stick figure, and I was like, oh my god,
that is so sweet.
But like it's just the simple things, putting like effort into those little things that make you feel good about yourself, and you just go to bed happy, like easy. But no, what I also want to talk on is your entire decision not to do basketball. And like looking back at everything, do you wish that you did go D1 for basketball, or are you happy with where you're at? Like, would you change anything about your journey?
I definitely wish that like I played D1 from time to time. You know, you have your moments. But I'm really happy where I'm at, and I'm happy with my decision. I think it worked out like for the best, and I think everyone has a path, and like just following your heart is like the main thing. And I think that's what I did, so I'm happy with where I'm at.
Where do you think you want to go with all this? Like, what's your biggest goals in terms of modeling, acting, content creation, basketball? Like, how do you incorporate basketball in your content creation, and how long do you think you're going to keep that up for?
I mean, my goals, like, whenever people ask me goals, I just, like, I want to go as far as I can possible. Like, there is no, like, real end goal, because I could say, like, oh, I want to be in a movie, but once I'm in a movie, I want to be in, like, 10 more.
No, exactly. So it's like you hit one, and it's like, bang, 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 I want to do so many more things.
So I have, like, just go as far as I possibly can, and being able to incorporate basketball, I kind of did that on accident because I posted a video of me playing basketball in a dress, and that's kind of what really kickstarted my social media. And I was like, oh, so I can really do this. And I just started giving tips and like shooting tricks and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's been like really cool.
That's cool. Do you think... So my whole thing with my like little content creation thing has been like I've shifted from food reviews to more like day in the life things to more soccer. Like that's I've told my manager, I'm like, shout out to Dylan. No, I've like told my manager, I'm like, I really want to start making a lot more soccer content, because I feel like that's not really saturated in the content creation space yet. Like influencers are still doing dances, looking pretty, like athletes can take over the space, and I'm like, I want to do more of that. Do you think that's where you're gonna continue your path, or with the modeling thing, how do you incorporate everything? You do it all.
So I kind of like, where I'm starting to shift more is into the more like beauty, like get ready with me type vibes. So that, but like a day like after hooping all day, or like coming home sweaty from like the gym, stuff like that, and then like getting unready with me, or like getting ready with me for the gym. But I also do the little guilty TikTok dances in the mirror at like Wish House, like, but I'll like spin a basketball on my finger.
See, so you're still like keeping that athlete, like little athlete. Oh,
we gotta have the basketball vibes everywhere.
No, that's so cool. So in terms of modeling, because I have learned a lot about modeling over this past year,
fun.
Where do you want to take that? And do you have a designer that you'd want to like? Do you want to do more runway walks, or like more like, oh gosh, like e-com? I think that's what they call it.
Wow, she used that. You killed that. She just killed that.
I had a good teacher.
No, I feel like I'm very much like a bubbly like print girl, like, so I don't do a lot of like the designer stuff yet. I feel like when I'm older, like I definitely want to hit the designer
high fashion is
vibes.
serious. Like,
it's serious.
Like I see them walking down the runway, and I'm like, how are you not cracking a laugh? Like I could not be in the shows. I have not been to a runway show because I would be looking at them so serious, and I'd be like like trying to hold in a laugh, like I can't go. I gotta watch it on my phone.
Make a YouTube video out of it and put like a spit take, like water in your mouth.
Literally.
That's hilarious.
No, but you're like bubbly, more like that's
Five
cool.
Below, JCPenney. Hey! That's what I've done. Like that type of vibes, like Teen Nick, like Heelys.
Oh my gosh, I could see you doing like PacSun. That's like that's a vibe and a half.
PacSun, like maybe Hollister.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
okay, she's got goals. And then let's get into your little actress, movie goals, like, do you have a favorite movie now that you'd want to be a part of, or TV series, or do you have like a totally new idea for where you'd want to be, like, starring in a show?
I feel like I definitely want to have like my own show. So like I want to be the main character.
Main character energy.
Yes,
as you should.
Yeah, that's like kind of what I want to do, and just branch that off my social media and what I do with that. But I just did Millennials, so it's on All Be Okay. Go check it out.
That's what I want.
Plug myself.
Hey,
yeah.
Check her out.
But yeah, and I got to play like a little like 14-year-old basketball hooper. Got pigtails in my hair, and I got to like cross someone. So it just fit the vibes.
You love it. Amen.
Yeah.
We'll dive more into basketball. Obviously, you went pretty viral for playing basketball in a dress, which is like iconic. I love that because I haven't seen that anywhere. How do you think that women, females are treated in the sport in terms of like even equality? Like, where do you think it's gonna go? How do you think it is now?
Speaking on like mostly the WNBA, I kind of feel like it's unfair, and I don't like how women are treated right now. I feel like it's progressed a lot. I feel like it's better. Like, you see women dunking now, and that's like a huge thing. So like as women are getting more athletic and everything, and really like proving like themselves and ourselves that like we can do what guys can do. Like, we're just as strong, like we're just as like coordinated. So I really like how it's progressing because it seems to be going in a positive way. I would like for it to go a lot faster, but it's a process. And yeah, I really think that it'd be awesome if just more people really supported the WNBA and like went out to the games, because when you go to the games, they're
hype. Basketball games are hype.
They're
and I
very
mean,
fun.
even let's take March Madness.
Yeah.
That just went on. Like, I was watching that. Not that I know anything about basketball, but I was watching the women over the men because I'm like, what's her name? Paige Bueckers and Azzi Fudd are two like amazing players, but Paige at UConn is just so amazing to watch. Like, she's so talented, and I really think like more people should tune in for sure. Exactly. Yeah. We just need the coverage.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one thing. Like, even the women's national team for Canada just played soccer, and they didn't have any broadcasting channels pick them up until like the day before. I'm like, why is this happening? Like, why can you not even put the coverage out there? Like, because the people will watch. Like, there's nothing wrong with the numbers. People showing up. Like, people show up. The stands are packed in March Madness. But it's like, why are you not even giving us the opportunity to like come out, show up, and like let the people come to us?
100%. Even with the WNBA draft, I don't even think it was really like broadcasted.
I didn't hear it.
I don't hear about it. You don't hear about it.
Yeah.
I was invited, and I was like, there's just no coverage on it, and it's like, it's so sad. Like, these girls are so like happy. They're about to be like, their dreams are about to come true, and like you don't even get to see it. It's a huge
moment.
Yeah.
This is like the start of an incredible career for these women.
Yeah.
And it's like, no coverage.
We want the coverage.
We want the coverage.
The coverage.
ESPN. ESPN. You'll work for them and just be like, okay, I'm covering every game, period. Period. So we're going to get into a game that I like to call Shot Clock, and I'm going to give you a bunch of rapid fire questions. We're going to put 60 seconds on the clock. But you have to try to get through as many as possible and give me your little opinions on each. Alrighty.
Pressure.
Okay. 60 seconds. Okay. First question. TikTok or Instagram?
TikTok.
I gotta read these quicker. Favorite sports movie?
Love and Basketball.
Favorite coach?
Can it be like my own coach?
Yeah.
Thing? My dad.
Oh, that's so cute. Okay, your go-to pregame meal.
Yikes, French fries.
Pregame meal? French fries. Oh my gosh.
Stop, I love fries.
Favorite hype song?
Anything by DaBaby, I guess.
Okay, fire. A teammate you love but you would totally kill.
Oh God, no comment.
Least favorite training exercise?
I don't like pushing the little sled thing.
Oh, that's sled pushes. Those burn the quads.
Yeah, they
okay.
take me out.
What would you play in college if it weren't for your current sport?
Oh, if I could do anything, I'd want to do like gymnastics. I'm just not good at it.
Flips and tricks. Okay, that's all we got.
Yay.
That's fire. That was fun. Got to get to know you a little bit more. Thank you so much for coming and talking about the highs and lows and teaching me quite a few things about basketball. I learned a lot. Scoring baskets all the time, you know.
Hoops.
So, hoops.
Hoops.
Wait, hoops.
That's what I have to say.
I'm gonna walk around and be like, hoop, hoop, hoop.
Oh, well, maybe not. Maybe not
No?
that.
Okay, that's not cool. Again, thank you so much for coming on here. It was a blast. If we want to see you in the future, what can we find you on? What are some things coming up?
Yeah, just all my socials are at Monroe Capri, and I have some cool stuff coming up on my YouTube, which is also Monroe Capri. So check that out. Yeah, I'm really excited.
Check her out. And speaking of YouTube, don't forget to check out Past Your Bedtime for the video version of this podcast. And if you just want to listen, go to all other streaming platforms and keep kicking.